That is. High and said, hey, the economy sucks right now. A lot of movie productions aren't going on. So we're laying off a third of this branch. And I was one of the names on the list. So went from, how's it going? Great to see you. Thanks for the follow. But my mouse is not liking me today for some reason. Yeah, how time flies, no kidding. If I remember correctly, wasn't super pleased by that. Especially because the entry-level engineering job market right now is real bad. It's not good at all. While, but I get tested for it every now and then. So far, so good. Yeah, continuous glucose is super fantastic, rather than, you know, turning your fingers to hamburger. Do with that information what you will. You know, I don't think either of us have ever been to Buffalo. I yeah, exactly, right? Like, not having to think about it is real nice. You know, I thought you were aware. If you find yourself your own job and you don't come back when we call you, that's voluntarily. Oh, we're coming up on 500 hours streamed as well. Which, you know, not great. Not gonna pretend it was. Basically, it's them telling you, go sit on the couch, collect unemployment, we might call you. If we call you back within 35 weeks, no harm, no foul, we don't owe you anything. If we can't bring you back within 35 weeks, want to wait it out. There are benefits because your employment is continuous. So, with respect, apparently I've been really I've got 10 slots in animated and 5 in standard. I need to do some work, apparently. Okay. Oh, wow. Then we process normal layoffs with severance pay and all that kind of stuff. 25-bit. A regular tier 1 and an animated. Jeez. Huh. Scientist on the project doesn't make any difference to me. Would love to see back to any seniority, any like vacation day accruals, anything of that nature. That all still continues to count up, you know. Lot of engineers out there can't find work right now. And the same week that I got laid off, one of the big tech firms in Toronto also Nelson, without doxing yourself, you're just on the other side of the border from us, not terribly far, right? Yeah, Google's bought up and canned to list the house. And then I came home, I went to work one day, and the middle afternoon, I would love to read that. I love reading the academic papers of the nerdy smart people in our community. Go looking for it. I haven't actually worked on, but I've given a lot of feedback and been part of studies with insulin pumps and continuous glucose monitors for the past 25 years. Oh, all right. Well, let's click some old emotes that I had to disable because I didn't have open emote slots. God. Like, why is he asking? I don't know. Yeah. No, that's why. Emotes. And by new, I mean old new, because, you know, they were emotes, and then I got rid of them because I prioritized other ones, and now they're emotes again. We want to lay you off. We want to have the opportunity to call you back, and we don't want to pay severance. So it's them basically saying, you still... Streamiversary is. Normally it actually, like, gives you a whole thing about, like, hey, it's coming up. Maybe you should, like, you know, do it. Yeah, no, Nelson, I got laid off from my old job. They that stuff is so cool. Really do need to get myself a proper magnifier, though. My first paycheck got deposited, though, so I might actually spring for one. The thing, I had 6 emote slots available. What? participate